Rachel focuses a lot on actually our biodiversity here. So a lot of her paintings is actually nature-based. So she's got pictures of, for example, tigers that I've seen, and actually not. What's that? The animal swimming in the water. There was one. It looks like a beaver, but it's not a.
There's an otter. There's a Asian small called otter. It's like all wet and it's got its side profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. It's so adorable.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because you came from the UK.
Yeah.
So how did you go? How did you start? Have you always like hiking? Like, how did you find your inspiration to start painting our wildlife here?
Well, I've kind of, as I said earlier, I always loved that wildlife, and when I was younger, it was either I was going to be a vet or I was going to be an artist, and the art side just kind of took over. And I thought, well, why not paint animals? Like, why not combine the two? And when we came to Malaysia, the biodiversity here, the mix of amazing, sadly but rare animals here is astonishing. So. Got into like painting the proboscis monkeys here, the orangutans, the sun bears, the Malaysian tiger, and it just kind of blossomed from there, really, to be honest with you. It was the animals that did it really more than me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But I mean, so what you've painted so far, and where do you usually go? I mean, this is a two-way question. You know, we can't really travel anywhere, although the PKP has sort of been lifted. You know, but I think our guests would like to know, where do you go to actually see or observe these animals?
Okay, Sandakan, I cannot rate enough. I loved Sandakan. They've got like the orangutan sanctuary there, the proboscis, the sun bear. And you don't even have to go to the actual centres if you don't want to. You can literally just do a little guided tour around the jungle, and they are there. The orangutans are just there in their absolute glory that they are. So Sandakan, Tamanagara, that was another place. So it's amazing how quickly you can just walk into the jungle here, and then you are in the wilderness. That is like it is like, whoa! This is happening. I am like now in the wilderness, and there's all kinds of animals around me. And if you sit quietly for long enough, they just kind of appear. And you get to enjoy them. And they're whilst they're there. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So how often do you actually go to like Sandakan? I mean, before, of course, this year, you know, but.
Often as I could, but obviously not now because CMCO and MCO and stuff like that. But it was. I think when we've been to Sandakan a few times in Tamanagara, I remember we went to Tamanagara and it was this huge trek, and I clearly wasn't ready for that massive trek, and there was like leeches, and I
Don't
was.
you love the leeches?
Well, at first you panic. When you get your first leech, you both check, the groups have been looking at each other and like, have you got a leech yet? Have you got a leech yet?
Really?
And
like a count.
Oh yeah, because everyone's panicked to get the first one, and where is it? But then after you're hiking, after so many hours, you don't care. You just lose the will to care if you've got leeches or not. They're like, they'll just drop off, they'll go away, I've got nothing to worry about leeches. But we got to stay, we actually stayed in the cave.
Oh.
And that was something, because it was sleeping in a like basically in a cave, like a little yoga mat on the floor, and it was like you wake up in the morning, all you hear is like these little tapping noises.
Oh, okay.
And you'd wonder what it was bat droppings, because the cave is full of bats, because it's a natural cave. Okay. But at like 3 o'clock in the morning, we heard our guides like with the flashlights, like looking around and like making motions and stuff, and there was these huge porcupines like having an argument. But porcupines are massive. Like, I never expected them to be that big.
At 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Wow, that must have ignited your, more artistic sense, at 2 o'clock.
It ignited a lot, yeah. I don't know if it's just my artistic sense or what, but I was awake and alert, let's put it that way. At 3 o'clock in the morning, and these giant porcupines just like
fighting.
Spitting and fighting each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that must have been really nice for you. I mean, it's a really hands-on kind of like, you're quite a hands-on painter. Like a lot of people paint in studios or just recap what they kind of visit. But how is it for you?
For me, I will do some of that recapping, but what I do, because I don't paint from like Google images, so I just don't Google like Malaysian tiger or hornbills and paint from that. I need to see the animal, so I can get like a sense of what that animal is. You can see the colors in its fur, you can see how it moves, you can see how it breathes, you can see the colors in its eyes. It just speaks to you so much more than a flat Google image. And I feel I try and portray that in my paintings to the best. I try and give them justice in the paintings, but it's just, I try and do them justice, but I don't,
it comes very, very, very close.
Thank you.
Honestly.
I need to do this more often.
Honestly, when we first got, when Jamie, our friend, actually first introduced us, and I was looking at pictures, I actually thought they were photos.
Thank you.
That's how close they actually were, you know, like for me. And then I was like, I actually zoomed in close. I was like, no, that's not photos, you know, she's actually using. Okay, so let's go into it, like a bit about how you start your works. Rachel's actually sponsored by Wacom. Rachel, why don't you show us? Can you see?
So this is the Wacom Tablet. This is one of the Wacom tablets, and it's touch, tilt, and weight sensitive. Like I was saying earlier, it's in this little square box here. This is the small one, so this is like an easy travel about one.
Portable one.
Yeah, portable one. Yeah. But it's basically traditional methods done digitally. A lot of how I understand it, a lot of people see digital art as, oh, it's just, I've heard it quite a lot, oh, it's just a Photoshop filter, or you just made the computer do it. And to be honest with you, I wish it was that simple.
It's not.
It's not. I spend anywhere between like maybe 80 hours on the small ones to 250 hours on the big ones.
Wow.
So it's a blank screen, it's no Photoshop, no filters, no pattern brushes, it's literally me and the Wacom and drawing onto the computer screen.
So basically how it works is when Rachel makes a stroke, on the tablet, the stroke becomes visible on the screen. So you don't actually see what you're drawing on the tablet itself.
No.
So it's a misconception for people to say that digital artist is just a Photoshop. It's not, because you actually start drawing from scratch on this thing, on this tablet. And for me, I'm not an arts person at all, so I can't imagine how difficult that is. You know, I can barely draw when as I'm drawing now. For example, if I draw now, even if I can see the strokes, it's like, okay, and now you can't. So it's amazing what she's done. And I'm actually very happy to hear that Wacom sponsors you.
Yeah, they sponsored me for, I've got a collaboration project with the Namibian Embassy here, and the Coral Painter, who is the software that I solely use, they are fantastic. They mimic that of like oil paint or traditional, like it's basically traditional techniques on here, because if you don't have those, then the computer isn't going to do it for you. But the Coral Painter is the software that I use, so that like gives it that like an oil brush kind of feel. So both of them, I was very, very lucky that both of them sponsored me when I went to there's 2 parts of the Namibian tour. I went to Namibia for about 3 weeks, toured around Namibia, taking loads of photos of animals. Honestly, trip of a lifetime.
Wow, that's great.
Oh, I loved it. Like, seeing animals in the wild is something you truly never forget. It's like where they're supposed to be, it's how they're supposed to look, it's there's no cages,
untouched,
no pens.
you know?
Yeah, they're untouched. There's nothing going on. It's just them and doing their thing, and you get to soak them up for as long as they will stand it. So that was amazing. Did a tour around Namibia, taking tons of photographs of different animals, and then I came back and then I started painting them. So what I do, as I said before, I don't do the Google images. I'll take my own photographs. I'll do some sketches while I'm there, but mainly my own photographs. Go back to my studio and have the photographs around me and the sketches to try and not even jog my memory, but to take me back to that moment to remember, so I can try and transfer that onto the canvas. So I will, for this tour that's coming up, we'll tour Southeast Asia. Of course, COVID pending. But I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to share that, because it's like so many. It was a trip I will never forget. And
what was the highlight animal of that trip?
I'm lost for words. Like, there's literally so many run through my head right now. Best animal. Oh wow, that's
Like all the hardest. Like, what was the toughest thing for you?
the toughest thing to do was to make them as good as the memory is to kind of make them look realistic is one thing, but I want to put more than just realism in it. I want to put, not to sound too artsy, but I want to put the soul of the animal in there. I kind of want to share that moment with the viewer of my artwork to say, look, this is the absolutely amazing thing I saw, and now you get to see it too, but more in an art, through my vision, so to speak. But best animal moment, like honestly, there was tons. I seen the wild dogs that we tracked them for a few days. There was a few moments. There were several moments. Now I'm just getting excited just thinking about this. Like, oh, there's this moment.
No, this is for the guests who in the future want to go to Namibia. You know,
yeah,
I definitely want to go. I want to try a safari. I want to try and see how it is. You know, it's one of my checklist places. You know, yeah. So I'm already there. You've convinced me. So do tell me more about these wild dogs.
Okay, so we tracked them for a while. And it was in hopes of seeing them because they're quite rare. And I saw some in the distance, and it was like, oh, they're just there, but we couldn't get close enough to them, like to get a good photograph of them. And one thing led to another, and it was like pitch black in the morning. It's so dark because start game. They call it game drive. You start game driving at like 5 a.m, and you're out in the sticks and.
Waiting for them basically to appear.
No, they had tracker collars on.
Oh.
So we had a team of different game safari drivers who were following the pings to see where they were.
Oh, right.
So we were basically following all these different pings to find out eventually where they were. And when we got there, it was just us. It was just me and the game driver. And he was like, right, he says, this is a den. And I was like, should I be here? And I'm thinking, it's worth it. It's worth it. Let's just see what happens. And we sat there. It was cold. Like, compared to Malaysia, it's cold.
Oh.
So it's not UK cold, but it's Malaysia cold.
Dry, quite cold weather in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So they're all huddled up, looking really cute and like staying warm, and I'm standing there freezing, trying to like see what happens. And next minute, the female comes up from the den. She does this little scout round, and we're like, "Oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?" And she just ducked straight back under. Like within a second, I thought, "Oh, was that my moment? Was that it?" Like she just comes up and then disappears.
Great, yeah.
But she comes back with 8 puppies. 8 puppies, and honestly, that's.
So you actually managed to take? Did you take photos of that?
Yeah,
it's early morning. I don't know if you can actually see.
Yeah, you could see them. I was pretty close to them. I was very close to them, and
that's risk.
Oh yeah,
there, the den, you know.
Well, I just thought I'm here, so why not? We got out the van truck thing that we had going on, and I was basically standing on the ground, and so when the puppies came up, all the other dogs just got like super excited and started yipping and yapping and running all over the show, which was amazing. But I was like, oh, there's wild dogs everywhere. Like, they were just running straight past me. They didn't care that I was there.
Oh.
They were too focused on the pups. So that was lucky, I suppose, because at least the focus was on them, not me. But that was...
That's a great story.
Magical. I could tell you stories until early hours in the morning, but yeah.
Oh. Is the wild dogs one of your arts? Like, is that one of something that you've drawn for part of your Namibia?
Maybe
okay.
It is.
Oh, it's a secret. Okay, I'll wait for it.
I can't. Well, once the programs, like once the tour starts, then I can start releasing the images. I can start releasing more. Like I can start telling everyone. Yeah. But until then, it's very like maybe there's wild dogs. Maybe.
I mean, is Namibia one of the? I mean, I'm sure a lot of countries have. Their own like projects when it comes to drawing, you know, or getting artists to actually draw their wildlife, you know. But Namibia is one of those. I think like Kenya pushes quite strongly on wildlife conservation and actually drawing of those, you know. Do you think a lot of the countries in Southeast Asia kind of go for that as well? Like for example, you painting our wildlife in Malaysia, you know, it wasn't sponsored per se. No. Right, so you know, should more countries in Southeast Asia actually do something, you know, for pushing more artists or at least more people to kind of have more art project with the animals, you know, about the animals?
I am all for that. Yeah, as it's a win-win on both. It's not necessarily Malaysia, but just can a country push its arts more? Yes. Should we push more into ecotourism and noticing our dwindling wildlife as a general global situation? Yeah. So yeah, I think there should be more projects. That'd be fantastic, because then it'd be like, I didn't even know in Malaysia there was this. We climbed Mount Kinabalu like last year, and I didn't even know there's a shrew on there. That's only found it on the mountain.
Correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And it's like, that's amazing. That's only
it's
here.
Actually it's like not a big secret actually about that. Yeah. I think the tour guides would know, and if you climb Kinabalu, you would know. No, because your tour guide would actually tell you. But I think the normal people, or like people, I mean, if we're even typical Malaysians ask, like, what is special about Malaysia's biodiversity? Of course we push ecotourism. We have, of course, the waters. We really take care of our corals. And as you said, when you were in Sandakan, we have all these conservation centers for the orangutans and everything. But I think the shrew itself, actually, not many people know about that.
Yeah, I definitely missed the memo on that one. Like, I didn't know that was a thing, and then I was dying to see one. Of course, I didn't, but I was dying to see one at that point. But yeah, as you say, like the Sandakan with the tigers, or the orangutans and the proboscis monkeys, like, that's epic. Like, to think you can get not only just to close them, but if you're just quiet and you can just like settle, and they'll just go and do their thing. And I love how it's completely wild. That's what ticks the major box for me there. It's completely wild, and they're not caged. It's not a performance. It's not a show. Even when you go to the orangutan sanctuary, they say, look, we put food out. They might not turn up. They might turn up. They might not. And we've been before when they haven't, and you're just like twiddling your thumbs for a little bit and hoping that they turn up. The macaques turn up.
Yeah, the macaques always turn up.
The macaques always turn up. But they're always fun to watch as well, because they're so different. They're so agile and flighty and energetic, and they're just a ball of energy, really. But yeah, it's
yeah, I think talking about all this traveling in Sandakan and Taman Negara is really making me miss hiking.
I know, I'm missing it too.
Yeah.
Like going just into the, climbing to waterfalls, or just seeing just general wilderness again. Yeah. Soon. If we behave, yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's move a bit about. Oh, okay. We got some questions. All right. Okay. We can take them now.
Yeah.
As we go.
Shoot. Hopefully, I can answer them.
Oh, there's quite a lot. Okay, hold on. Let's go through. When will the shop open in the UK?
Soon. Actually, the shop, because I launched a online shop.
Tell us more about it.
Okay. Shameless plug here, but yeah, it's on my website, so rgportraits.com. I've now got my own merchandise on online, because everything's online now because of MCO and all this stuff. So I joined the bandwagon on that one, and it's all there. At the moment, it's exclusively in Malaysia, and as of today, free shipping became available in Malaysia. Yeah.
There's one product that I'm actually eyeing. It's the phone covers. Yeah. The best thing about the phone covers is it's actually biodegradable. Yeah. So I've been using the same iPhone cover, and my daughter kind of painted over mine. I've been using this for close to 2 years now, but I'm actually hoping to get something, and
so mine.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm proud to be in Malaysia, and this thing's not even available in the UK. Suck it. So yeah. Okay. Sorry, actually I didn't mean that. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Man, I love it.
Okay. Someone said. Oh, this is actually more of a comment. I saw your work at the National Gallery of Malaysia. Amazing work. You really captured the mood of the animals. So cool.
Oh, thank you, whoever you are. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there some place I can see and buy your artwork?
Yes. I've got artwork currently available at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Four Seasons?
There's a gallery there called the Emerging Artists Gallery, and I've got artworks there available. And also not to say in the the same website that my artworks are available there. Just if you contact me through that, then start the conversation, start discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's see. See, any more questions? Oh, any current, as she's mentioned just now, some of her paintings are at Four Seasons, at the gallery there. But this question is, any upcoming exhibitions in KL?
I do. I'm gonna have to say, watch this space. There is. I've got two. Two upcoming ones. One certainly, one major one. Actually, no, two. I'm going to say two potential major ones, and they're going to be first, like, within the first 6 months of the year. So just follow on.
First 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
follow LOCCO, follow Rachel. You know, we'll keep you guys updated. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be more installments on that coming up, either on my Instagram or on the local platform, about what's happening. I can't say too much yet, but. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good, and we're excited. We're definitely excited. Okay. Let's, if you can, let's move on to sort of your life in Malaysia. You've been here for 4 years, so that's quite a number of years. How's your bahasa? That's a tease question.
Dismal, I'm afraid. Like, embarrassingly dismal. Like, I should be so much better than this.
But can you order teh tarik at the mama?
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's the most basic thing that you need to know. Everything else is minor, don't worry.
Okay, yeah. I am embarrassingly poor at that. Like, embarrassingly. So, yeah, I should be so much better than that, yeah.
How did you actually decide to come to Malaysia of all, like, you know, countries, or I mean in Southeast Asia especially, like, why Malaysia?
Why Malaysia? Mainly for the culture and for the animals. We kind of noticed it originally we came here for a year and thought, see how it goes. Oh. And then we kind of fell in love with the place, and here we are. It's just kind of, yeah. I'd like to say it was all planned, but no, it wasn't. We fell in love with the culture, the people, the food, and the weather and everything else.
The weather, that's surprising.
Compared to the UK, like, it's well, thinking right now, the UK, it's going to be going, like, right now, it's going dark at, like, what, 7:20?
Yeah.
And it rises at 7:20. In the UK, it gets dark around 4. Yeah. So it's very different, and it's cold. It's Baltic right now. Yeah. But the food and then the general just the culture and the animals. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's I'm glad to actually hear that you've kind of made us your second home.
Oh, most definitely.
But I mean, Christmas is coming, you know. So
is it?
No, dear. Yeah. So how do you usually spend your Christmas here?
Well, it's gonna be very different this year because obviously we're gonna follow the SOP. No, not being here. Spending it here would be great. It's the fact that
it's the SOP thing.
Well, the SOP you can't really do anything, and that's understandable. Not trying to push anyone to start breaking any rules here, but so I think it's gonna be very different for everyone this Christmas because what the usual was or what people wish for maybe can't really happen, but it's for the best at the minute. So, yeah.
How do you usually spend your Christmas here?
Normally, it's either we'll go back to the UK, and if we're not in the UK and we're here, it'll be probably trekking somewhere. Probably we did I remember for a Christmas present we got a trip to Sandakan, and that was my first time to Sandakan. So that was like the big
wow.
Yeah, the big wow. Yeah.
The first one, it was a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was because we always wanted to go because we knew all the animals were there and but when you read about it online, you're thinking, I'm just going to be unlucky and turn up, nothing's going to be there, or they're not going to show up. And I remember the first time I went to the orangutan sanctuary, nothing was there, and it was like, oh no, like nothing's going to turn up. And then you just got to give it time. And if you do, like if you go back the second time, it's not even like back to Sandakan, it's been back to the orangutan sanctuary, and everything's there. Oh. So yeah, it's I'm looking forward to Christmas. It should be good, even though it's different.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. So.
What do you have on your list this year? I mean, since it's different, you know, like.
What list do you mean?
Like, I mean, since you say that it's going to be it's different slightly this year compared to your previous years, because before you were traveling or either in you were in the UK.
Yeah.
So what do you have on your list this year? Like, what kind of activities do you have planned?
Nothing as at the moment. I've kind of been swamped with all this fun stuff. So I haven't. Well, I need to plan something. I really need to plan something. I haven't got any planned yet, but I will do, because we won't let it just go by like nothing. But yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have anything? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Are there other questions? Christmas celebrations. There's actually a question. What was your best Christmas present that you ever received? And I think
I've just told you that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was epic. And
oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. I totally forgot about this.
I was wondering what the signaling was. I was wondering what the signaling was going on. Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys one question about Rachel's lovely session just now. And you guys get a chance to win our personalized LOCCO t-shirt. It says, "Don't just travel, travel locally." Isn't that smart? Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, I like it.
Right, so.
What's the question?
Actually, what would you like the question to be?
Oh, you spun that on me.
Yeah, it's a chill session, isn't it? Yeah. So.
I like how this was your idea and now it's mine.
Anything you would like to ask the viewers about you?
I don't know, let's get a lot of content, let's get a lot of people doing it. So what is 3 Malaysian animals?
Oh,
there you go.
Okay, guys. What are 3 Malaysian animals that you've painted, or
can be? Yeah.
Okay.
Or can be painted, or can just be general. I just thought if you name 3 Malaysian animals, it's like the fastest finger, right? Like the fastest person to answer.
Okay, then 3 Malaysian animals, guys. Go. Okay, but we do have questions for you as well, actually, from the crowd.
Okay.
How long does a painting take, and which one is your favorite piece? Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say the painting I'm painting at the time. I know it's the cheesy answer, not the answer whoever's asked that question will want to hear, but it is very much the one I'm painting at the time, because I kind of get lost in that painting. I get very much in the zone, and it's all about either the leopard or the cheetah or the Malaysian tiger or the hornbills or wherever I'm painting. I am completely lost in it. So that's my favorite, and then it moves on to the next one. Painting, I think they asked how long it's going to take to paint. Anywhere, the small ones, which are like 25 by 25 inches, they're like maybe about 80 to 100 hours. Mm. The bigger ones can be anywhere like 250 plus.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
when you're in the zone, like, do you go like no disturb for like how many days, kind of like zone, or like are you the kind of person that takes breaks?
Oh no, I'm useless at breaks.
Oh,
I am useless at breaks.
So you just go one shot, like.
Well, not 250 hours.
Yeah, that's not impossible. Sorry, but
no,
like as rigorous as you can be. Like.
Yeah, I will easily paint for 12 hours straight. Yeah, like I am positively useless at taking breaks and knowing to step away and give myself that break. I always guilt myself out and say, oh, you're kind of not doing it right, you're not working hard enough and all that sort of stuff, so I always end up going back. But yeah, like I will just get in the zone, and I will sometimes forget to eat, or I'll have water and stuff, but I forget to eat, and it'll be like starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, then it's like 8 o'clock at night, and it's like,
you haven't eaten?
I haven't eaten, and because it's dark outside and stuff like that, it just depends. Like you just get lost in it, and then that's it. The day is gone.
Well, that's great. I mean, because once you're in the zone, it's quite hard to just stop.
Well, see, I'm going to disagree with that. It's not hard to stop. I find it hard to stop because I find it hard to give myself the break. But I can easily like go back from like go and do a meeting and then come back and then start painting again. It's like breathing. It's not like something you can switch off. It's just you're always. It's just
always thinking about it, right?
Yeah, it just always happens. It's
natural.
Not. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and I'm sure it does for a lot of even our team, who once they start working or something, it just kind of goes into that zone.
Yeah. And then you realize it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, oh no.
Can't sleep. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What other questions do we have? Oh, there's quite a number of people. I'll let our producer choose the winner.
Cool.
Oh, best. There's a question here from Adrian. Best and worst moments while working on a painting.
Best and worst moments. Worst moments. Oh, I'll start with the worst ones and then I'll go to the best ones. Worst moments when working on a painting is when suddenly the computer crashes, or you forget to save and something happens, and that's a bit of a nightmare. Like, I've had that before. Or your computer gives you the white screen of death, and you just open your laptop and it's just white screen. It's like, I can't do anything with that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's sad. Or if I can't, I get like frustrating bits where you're painting, I don't know, when I'm painting an animal, and you can spend, like the eyes alone, I can spend like 3 hours on one eye, like just getting it the way I want. But that can get really frustrating because there is no, like, as I said, there's no pattern brushes, there's no like magic wand. It's literally just me sitting there like doing the same stroke over and over again to try and get it right. But that can get a bit claustrophobic. Yeah. That can get a bit inward, and you go a bit crazy because you're like, oh, I can't just draw this ear tooth right, or I can't, because if you don't get that right, then the perspective is off. And then if the perspective's off, then the light's off, then the weight's off, then it just kind of has this knock-on effect. And then if I realize if I don't get the eyes right, then I may as well just scrap the whole thing. But
eyes are always the toughest, isn't it? I mean, because it's a cliche saying, but it's the eyes to the soul, basically, you know. So I mean, you want to get the animal instincts right, you know, because that's the message you're trying to convey for them, their instincts, basically, you know. So I can understand how that can be very quickly frustrating for you as well, you know. That's
frustrating. The best bit, that's when a piece is finished, and the best bits have to be when I'm at a gallery or someone's commissioned a painting, and I get it. It's like of their dog or their cat or the horse or something, and it's of their pet, and obviously they adore their pet, and you just feel that an immense amount of pressure, thinking, oh, I hope they like it. I hope they like it, even though they've come to you to commission the piece. You still have that inward doubt of
that kind of perfect. I mean, you want it to be perfect, you know. So
you want it to be like, you want them to be happy with it, and if they touch wood, I've never had anyone not happy yet, but you still have this utter dread of handing their portrait over and being like, you don't breathe. I don't breathe for like the first 2 minutes until they actually say something. And then I can go, okay. Because on the ones I have done, a lot of people have got quite emotional about it, and that's always fun. That's always like, you can't buy that, you can't sell that. That's pure gold. And then when I'm doing an exhibition, it doesn't matter. Like, I know a lot about this. I get asked a lot, do you ever get nervous doing an exhibition? Do you ever get nervous doing this? Do you ever get that? And the answer is always yes. I remember doing every exhibition, like the night before, you have this pit of dread, and you're just like, what happens if no one turns up? Like, what happens if you're in an open ceremony and no one turns up? But then the amazing bit, to answer Adri's question, it's when you turn up to an exhibition and people actually talk to you about your artwork. That's amazing. If you're ever in an art gallery and there's an artist there, go and talk to them, because they're dying to hear what you think. They're dying to hear that input, and just to hear you get excited or even question what they did, not in a horrible way, but just in a kind of conversational way. That makes the artist stay, because then it does the full circle then. So I would say that having an exhibition, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like a smash hit. It's just the fact that people are actually there. People come up to you and talk to you about it. People actually say, oh, what about this? Or this is my favorite, or I really like this bit, and they actually talk to you, and that keeps you going for a while. Yeah, definitely.
Sure, yeah. And you just look forward to the next exhibition, you know, or the next, first painting first, of course, and then exhibition, you know, so you keep always looking forward, you know. So oh yeah, you're always chasing you're always chasing the next thing. So
it's magical when you do get that moment and you can just take a second just to stand there in an exhibition and just look around, not necessarily interact with them, just look around and be like, okay, this isn't too bad. Like, people are here, there's smiles on their faces, there's press, and it looks good, and that's the minute that you get to breathe, and you kind of like that's I'm forever chasing that. I am always on the hunt for that, but yeah, that's probably one of the best moments. Yeah,
it is a very nice moment as well. I mean, like, to see people, like you said, it's gone full circle.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's go on to the sort of next question. Let's see. Have a well, I think it's more just a comment actually. From Benjamin, have a small print of Monty. We'll have to get a print of date at some point, or even a canvas. Just gotta wait for UK shipping. Sorry, I'm just reading your comment for fun. So.
A lot of UK shipment. I know that's definitely a thing, and
I think everyone's asking for that. I think the main, most of the people watching this to say, when is the UK shipping coming? So
yeah, I've had a few. I've had a few comments saying UK shipping and US shipping, but at the minute it's coming.
Possible, yes.
It's just in Malaysia at the moment, but it will arrive.
Okay, let's see. When will you have a UK exhibition?
Oh, I don't know. When will they have me? No, I haven't actually put that on the map yet. I've mainly been focusing on Malaysia and here and stuff, and obviously the tour Southeast Asia. But I should do, but haven't got around to that yet. It's definitely on
It's there somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely on the.
But us first, okay?
It's definitely on the to-do list.
Oh, a lot of people are asking you to go to Sri Lanka as well for an exhibition.
Yeah?
Yeah, lots of amazing animals here to draw.
Okay.
Let's see, any other questions? Oh, who is your favorite Malaysian artist and why?
Oh, that's tough because I don't like just one type of art here. Like, there's art there's a bunch of artists in the Emerging Arts Gallery, and some of their work is brilliant. And they will surprise you with new works, and they will surprise you with like new avenues which you didn't think they were going to go down with. You thought, like, when you see them and you think, oh, maybe they found, like, some people say it's a niche, and you think, oh, maybe that's what they're about, but obviously they're emerging, and no artist should just stay in one thing, so it's always good to see what they do. So I can name loads, but then I'd miss some, and then they wouldn't like me anymore. No, I've kind of Sari Cempaka Art Village. Oh. Have you heard of that?
I'm not me myself personally. Sorry,
okay, well, there's some amazing pottery artists and resin artists. They had a big kind of like exhibition at the end of September when, like, it was all safe to do and stuff. And some of their works was fantastic. How creative they became with pottery. I didn't even think it could be that creative. I was kind of blinkered in that. I just thought mugs, bowls, plates, but they were making like flowers. They were making like very fancy ornate teapots with like a whole tea set. But they were just like, the handles were beautiful, and then they were dipping them in doing the different colors. And then he's got these huge resin tables.
Right.
So it's like wood on either side, and they collected local rocks from the riverbed, and then laid them in resin. So it was almost like a river was running through your table.
Right. Oh, that's great.
They looked brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah, they do, because they're really they're really reflective. So it just looks.
It really just looks like a reflective river, basically.
Yeah, it looks very modern because it's really reflective. But then it's got the whole natural wood, and then it's got the stones, and there was some that actually put some paint inside them that like paint like fish and stuff. They looked.
Wow, it must have looked real, kind of a realistic kind of a table, you know.
Yeah, you should check it out, Sari Cempaka.
Shout out to Sari Cempaka Art Gallery.
Yeah, Art Village.
Art Village.
Yeah,
okay,
so Karak.
Art Village.
Yeah, that was the artists there are well worth the look.
Okay, that's some local content right there.
Yeah.
We'll bring that to you. Okay. Oh, there's another question. Have you collaborated with any local artists?
I have. I did a group exhibition. It was an international exhibition with the WWF a while ago, and that was a mixture of it was international artists, but mostly local artists. And then one of the very first exhibitions I did here was a charity exhibition, and that was with local artists as well, and like people like Ajak Borak and stuff like that, and other artists like that, and yeah, that was good because it was like my first taste of the Malaysian art scene.
When was that?
Where was that?
When was that? Your first?
Oh, a few years ago.
Oh.
It was in the Curve, you know where?
Like the open space kind of.
Yeah, it's right before the cinema. It's called the Ledge Art Gallery. Like, you know how there's got the massive escalators to the cinema? There's it used to be, don't know if it's still there, but they used to have a huge, like a big long gallery, and it was called the Ledge Art Gallery. And that was there, and that was all with local artists. And then, as I said, the Emerging Artists Gallery, majority of them are local artists. Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely enjoying the local art scene.
That's good. That's great. Let's just see if we have any other questions here. What makes you choose the animals for your artworks? Like, I think the question is more like, how do you choose your animals?
How do I choose them? It's more the moments. It's not really. Sure, I'll go out and try and see, like, certain animals when I was in Namibia, or when I was being in Malaysia. There'd be certain animals I'd like. Okay, I'd really like to see pygmy elephants, or I really want to see the sun bear. So I will make a trip to go and see them, but you'll come across other animals along you'll come across other animals along the way, and they might just steal the show for you. You'll see like a hornbill and just roaming, like flying freely, and they just might pose right. They just might have something special about them. They might do something special. They might be in a nest, or it's very much based on the animals. Like, you might go to see one thing, but then come back with a completely different. Yeah, like you might see a huge monarch lizard doing something, and it might be swimming, and they look like Godzilla when they swim, and I think I love that. So when I say it really depends on the animal. My work is very much based on them and what they choose to share with me in that sense. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's your good sense of judgment, I think, like, and good sense of, I suppose, experience, you know? Like, when you're there, you're just mainly there to observe. And that's the great part, you know, I think about artists or people who are more in line with nature, that you can sit there for hours and actually just kind of sink in, you know? I don't have that much patience, but I'm usually there for like 3 hours or max, you know, and I'm down, you know. But I really do enjoy. I mean, people who have that. It's something I aspire to be. It's getting there, but not quite there. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's you let them do the talking. Really, you let them show you whatever they want to show you. It's like you just soak them up. That's what I do. I just go there to soak them up and hope to do them justice on the canvas. So it's like, I turn up and sometimes I'm lucky and something happens, and sometimes I'm not lucky and no one's there and there's just a few butterflies. But you normally always do see something. Like that's the amazing thing here, that there's so many animals here that you don't have to go that far into hiking or trekking or the wilderness, and you will see stuff. Stuff will suddenly appear. Yeah.
That's true. Actually, I think our animals are very happy, very friendly. Actually. Oh, sorry. Let me see if there's any more questions. Let's see. Oh, is there a Malaysian animal that you have yet to see live?
Oh, that is a brilliant question. Okay, want to see live. So the Kinabalu shrew.
Yes.
The dhole.
The dhole?
Yeah, it's like this wild dog of Malaysia.
Oh.
I'm sure there was black panthers up in Tamanagara at one point.
Oh, Yeah, yes, I think, but I'm not sure if there are any more. I mean, because we don't really put trackers on them, right? I mean,
No, it's just
so
camera traps. I'm sure I've seen like camera traps of like WWF, and they're like, oh, look at this is here and stuff like that. A tapir, there you go.
Oh.
I've seen the tape in the zoo, and I've seen it in like centers and stuff, but never just roaming in the wild.
Yeah.
That would be magic. Yeah, seeing a tapir in the wild.
I know where you can go. I mean, when I was in college in Lembah Beringin, we actually went tapir hunting. I mean, trekking. Yeah. So
okay, hunting. I was like, what?
Sorry. Sorry. Bad choice of words. My bad. Trekking. And we actually went about the same time when you did with the wild dogs. We went out at 5 in the morning, and actually we saw them by the river. Just one. Yeah, we followed the tracks. My teacher at that time was actually from the UK, and he was at the British Museum for a while. So he was very good. He was an amazing birds watcher, and I think it was my first time actually having experienced that kind of exposure. I think to the wilderness. I mean, I don't think I ever. My parents aren't hikers either, so and they're very city people, you know. So that was my first time, and that was really amazing.
Yeah.
That you can go to Lembah Beringin at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
I've got to do that. Seeing a tapir, seeing Dole, the shrew, the black panther, that would be amazing. But there's a smaller cat. There's the clouded cat, I think it's called.
Oh, I think I've seen it on the Taman Negara Instagram. Like, yeah. It's kind of like the forest cat, but a smaller. Yeah.
It's small, but its eyes are huge. Like that would be amazing to see. Yeah, I could literally list tons.
So Taman Negara is basically your.
I really do.
Spot.
I've been to Taman Negara, but I do enjoy it. It's a lot more wild than you ever think. You just think, oh yeah,
and it's not even that far. You know, it's not even that far from KL actually.
No, it's not. But when I remember going with the guide, and they were like, okay, if you see a wild boar, start like running zigzags so you don't like get injured. Don't make too much less. Don't make enough noise. That means you don't scare away the elephants. Don't touch the trees in case a snake falls out. And it's like, oh wow, it's overwhelming when you first do it because you think I'm gonna die. Like this is it. but when you actually just have a moment and you just soak it in, you're actually like, no, I'm fine, and I'm just being overreacting, and it's gonna be magical.
Well, it's not really overreacting when they scare you. When they give you too much information at the beginning, you know.
No, but I see why they do it. It makes perfect sense. That means you're not going to get someone like you need to respect the wildlife. You need to respect that this is their territory, this is their land, and the tables have turned. And this is like you need to be respectful of where they are, what they're doing, their environment, that sort of thing. So I actually I agree with them when they kind of spook you a little bit, because it's like it makes sense. It gives you that sense of visitor. Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm not top of the food chain here. Like, there's other things here, and you've got to be careful of it. And
it's great. Yeah. Okay, we should. We've got 10 more minutes on the line, and I think 5 minutes from now I'll probably announce the winner. This is a technical question actually.
Technical question, okay.
Do you prefer digital or traditional mediums for your paintings? CTRL, Ctrl plus Z is really helpful, but nothing beats some watercolors or oils.
Sorry, say that last bit again. What was the digital or traditional or what?
Do you prefer, digital or traditional mediums for your paintings? And Ctrl Z is really helpful, but nothing beats watercolors or oils.
Okay, yeah, Control Z is, for people who don't know, Control Z is on a Mac, and it means undo. It means when you're painting, you can press undo, and whatever stroke you were doing can be removed. And on basically you can remove it so many times, and you can take back steps in what you're doing. Do I prefer one or the other? I actually do both. I've never really had the ability to kind of say I'm only going to focus on one, because even if I'm doing these wildlife portraits, I'm still painting abstract oil paintings, and that oil paint, and they're big and they're abstract, and so that's very much a hands-on, get messy with paints and plan it all out. But watercolors are beautiful. I agree with whoever has said that. But I kind of love both. I've never been able to say okay, I'm just gonna focus on one, because for me it's too transitional, it's too fluid. I'm using my traditional techniques into a digital medium.
Yeah.
So you're looking at weight, tone, light, color, that sort of stuff, but just in a via a digital medium. That's all it is. Sure, you can get digital mediums that replicate that of watercolor and stuff, and there will be people who can tell the difference between, like, just looking at a flat print, like the difference between a digital watercolor and a traditional watercolor. But I kind of like both, and I don't agree with the thing that it has to be one or the other. I think it's 2020 now. We don't need to be looking at, like, an artist is just one thing. Like, you should, in my opinion, try and diversify and have a go, because you never know where it might lead and what it might inspire. Like, you might learn a technique digitally that you can do traditional wise, like in your watercolor or your inks or whatever you're doing, and it just gives you a chance to play with it. It just gives you a different perspective, a different opportunity. So no, I like watercolors, but do both.
Do you think your next pieces, your next sort of exhibition might be watercolor based?
My next exhibitions coming up are both digital and traditional.
Oh, okay.
There's a few digital ones coming up, and then there's probably some abstract oil works in the mix of that as well. But even when I'm doing the digital stuff, it doesn't mean I'm stopping sketching. Like, it doesn't mean I'm just only working on the Wacom Tablet. I'm still with a sketchbook. I'm still doodling. If I'm on the phone to you, I'm probably doodling when I'm talking to you. I'm always doing it. So it doesn't seem. I don't know. I kind of want to break the barrier on that whole thing that artists can only do one. I think we should be looking at both.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, like you said, you can't. It's the 21st century. You can't, like, define the artist by just one medium. I mean, artists are supposed to be creative, and you guys can explore any mediums. So yeah. Okay. I think that's sort of the end of the time and end of what we have. The winner of today's T-shirt is Adrian.
It's Adri.
Oh, Adri. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce.
I know who she is. It's
okay,
Adri.
I don't want
I'm
to
saying Adri so she knows who it is.
Surname wrong. Okay, and his answer was orangutan, sunbears, and tapirs. Right.
Nicely done, Adri.
I hope you're in Malaysia. I'm not sure if I can ship it overseas.
No, she is.
Okay, great. That's great to know. Yeah, so we will definitely get this T-shirt. Yeah, and I would actually like to thank Rachel for joining us. It was fun to have you, honestly. I think we actually have another session coming up with Rachel as part of LOCCO's next kind of content with her. And this time we're actually going to bring you guys to the gallery to see the paintings, like sort of real life, basically, So keep follow us, and we'll keep you guys updated. And we're actually looking forward to that very much,
Yeah, I can't wait to show you guys.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that'll be very fun. And maybe there can even be a third phase where we can actually follow you to Taman Negara. Yeah.
I am up for that. Let's.
Yeah.
I can see other people like, but let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a good holiday and Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone for watching us today. I hope we kept you entertained pre-Christmas, and in the mood to shop on Rachel's merchandise website. I know I am, and I'm in Malaysia, so shipping's free here. So yeah. So yes, thank you everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, bye.